Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Moon. The Garage Gym Athlete Podcast is a result of my desire to build better humans, unequivocal coaches, and autonomous athletes. I've spent the last several years obsessing over program design, nutrition, and every other way you can optimize human performance. This podcast distills the latest scientific research with what I've learned and blends it with the not-so-scientific field of mental toughness. We are here to build you into a dangerously effective athlete. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find out more about our training at garagegymathlete.com. And if you want to pursue more into the field of coaching and programming, head to endof3fitness.com. Thanks for listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jared Moon here with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Jay.
And we have Ryan Caswell, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you guys doing today?
Doing great. So Ryan's been on before, and he's all over.
No stranger to the group.
Yeah, he's doing lots of awesome stuff. I love getting updates from him. We actually communicate quite a bit, probably on a daily basis, because we have our own chat for BCT. But that doesn't mean everyone else knows what the hell Ryan's up to. So that's why we're having Ryan on today, man. So let's get a brief introduction just for anybody who hasn't caught previous podcasts that you've been on, and then we can hop into what's new in your world.
Yeah, sounds good. Ryan Caswell, husband, father, 2 daughters. We live in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I've been a garage gym athlete for a little over a year and a half, almost 2 years, and do ship repair. Last time we talked a year ago, I was still out in the field, and since then I've made my way into an office setting. So not too upset with that, but that just gives me more energy to bang out these workouts when I need to.
That's awesome, man. Moving on up.
Blue collar to white collar.
That's right.
That's awesome, man. Well, cool. So let's get an update on training. I've mentioned a few things, and I'm fairly familiar with what you're doing, but give us any updates on what's changed from last time. What are you doing now, and all that stuff?
Yeah. So last time we talked, which was about a year ago, I was halfway through my year of H2K. And from there, I went and did a cycle of shred and got my ass whooped by VD for a cycle. And that was awesome. And I had intended to make do the world tour of GGA treks. And then, BCT kind of presented itself, and I was, well,
detour.
Here we are now. I like to, I want to challenge myself with the squats and the mile, because I hate running and I was somewhat afraid of squats. So I figured, why not jump onto that track? And I had already committed myself to a year of Murph as well with some of the other guys that we've already discussed. So yeah, a lot of good changes here.
Yeah, what is that when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force? That's BCT and Murph every week.
Yeah, it's you got to get creative with the amount of running and squatting. Recovery
too, man.
Yeah, it's shifted the mindset for Murph, but we can jump into that a little later on if you want.
Yeah, man. So how are you liking BCT? I don't get to talk to people about it that much, at least not publicly. So how are you liking it?
I like it a lot. I like the end of the weeks better, just because the Friday and Saturdays, they're quick, easy squat day, or not easy, quicker squat day.
It's quick, yeah.
And then Saturdays is typically the shorter interval runs. So it's knock those out. The early parts of the week is challenging, and I'm growing more comfortable with the squats, which, I've never focused so much barbell work before GGA. So, getting comfortable in the squat was something that I wanted to do with that first month, that we started. And now I've switched from training max to true max, which is certainly presented a whole new challenge, on top of, trying to improve the mile times and running pacing. It's just trying to learn how to train my body and mind to match, okay, I need to get to this pace on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Well, we're just going to have to throw on some metal and get to it.
Yeah, man. And you're doing really well. If you don't mind, so I think you tested both. I know some athletes tested one or the other, but what was your pre-test, post-test for the first 4 week wave that we did there?
Yeah. So pre-test, I got back up to a decent 300-pound back squat. And then after the first 4 weeks, I got up to a solid 315.
Nice.
It felt solid. And then on the mile time, I went from 621 to 602.
It's huge. You're going to
That's
crack
big.
sub 6 after the next retest. I know it.
And I felt that last maybe 50 meters, I felt myself slow down, and I was so pissed that I allowed myself to do it, because that first, the majority of that, I was cruising and lapping people in the neighborhood. So it felt good. Then them last 50 meters really took a hit.
And it's hard, man. It's just hard you have to stay so mentally dialed in for the entire run. And that's where we want to let up to. It's very difficult.
Yeah, there's nothing aesthetic about the way I look when I ran that. It's all just flip, just ugly running, and maybe a little crying, and just trying to get from one
Time hanging out.
I have a perfect loop from driveway to driveway, and I have to strategically cross 2 roads to get to the other side, and then turn left to make this a full mile. Figure that out. But from driveway to driveway, it's a perfect mile, so that's nice.
That's
A
awesome.
year from now, you're gonna need to employ some crossing guards to have them like stop the way. Yeah, road guards out.
It's just like when you do it in the morning, you just gotta crack knucks, shake it out, and go with God on that one.
Yeah,
I'm either gonna finish this year or I'm not.
that's what I keep thinking. I'm like, well, it's gonna be a good year, or something's gonna break. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you actually inspired me to run faster on my mile, because you're part of the chat, so you kind of know the story. But I ran that slower mile for my retest, but I was trying to be all like, I was too analytical about it. I was like, and then your attempt, or let's just say your description of your attempt in the chat, I was like, you know what, that's exactly what I need to do. I just need to go. Because when I was in the military and I had to run Air Force does 1.5 mile, I would honestly like dry heave on like the last 800 meters sometimes, or the last 400 meters. I was probably not in as good a shape as I was trying, but what the fact of the matter was, I was trying really hard. And I was like, I need to get back to that. I need to be throwing up on the last lap. I'm trying so hard for the mile. I didn't quite get there last time, but that's probably where I'll have to be if I ever want to go sub 5. But I do appreciate your inspiration there.
Yeah, the lesson in diminishing returns. Just go until you can't. That's
exactly
words to go by. Yeah.
So what direction has Murph taken now that you are on VCT?
In the early stages of it, it was, let's get comfortable doing the workout. Let's take it off the pedestal, like you've said a lot, like a lot of other people have said, and then get through that terrible summer heat, Murph, and then start trying to dial in timing. But pretty early on in the summer, I kind of started to focus more on just form, and not really caring so much about the speed of it, because when I would try to, bang out a lot of fast pull-ups, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way I felt after. And I really wanted to also improve my pull-ups. So I just figured, let's start turning this more into just another training day. And then since then, that has been 100% kicked into gear with BCT, because now I don't want to, destroy myself for the next week of training. But I still want to get the Murph done. So I don't care how long it takes me to do Murph. I look at it as, I'm going to run anywhere between 7 to 10 minutes for the mile, and I'm going to spend anywhere between 25 to 35 minutes on calisthenics, just depending on how high I want to go with chest to bar pull-ups, or how high I want to go with low and slow squats. And same thing on that second mile. It's a recovery. It's a way to escape. It's a way to get it done and feel good about that commitment as well.
Yeah, and that's what I always used to call those training Murphs as well, because they're you focus on either the strict pull-ups or better form on different things. And I really feel like those build up for a better, faster Murph when you do want to try and go hard. Have you seen improvements? You said you want to get better pull-ups and everything like that. Have you seen improvements in slowing down and taking this methodical approach to your Murph execution?
Oh, absolutely. I'm now able to do consistent chest to bar pull-ups. Like,
that's awesome.
Slow chest to bar pull-ups. So it's we kind of got a joke in the actual, the Murph group, the thick nastics, when heavy boys can get up over the bar like that, and I'm trying to represent. I'm on that line of thick boy, thin boy. At 200-pound mark that's right. That's where I draw the line. So some half the week with BCT, I'm under. And then, after the weekends, I'm back over. I'm not gonna worry about that. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm on my way, man. I'm 191 this morning. So
yeah, so you're still gaining weight. Well, you're holding. I'm the opposite. I weigh less now with BCT than I did at the end of shred, and I'm eating more. I'm eating so much more, and groceries, man, a lot of it.
A lot of groceries.
Yeah,
but it feels so good to just being able to snack so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're strategic snacks. I got hard times I eat. I've tried to not eat between dinner and 9:30 every day. And I've switched my training to morning time, which is another hard decision. But it works out well. Yeah.
It's tough if you're trying to go hard. I mean, or let's say squat heavy, that it's a little bit harder when you're hitting the morning.
Yes, it is.
A big question I have for you though is your consistency. You're incredibly consistent, and you have been pretty much since you showed up. Is this something that's just always been the way that you are, or is there something that you dedicated yourself to? Because I think that's what a lot of people want to know who struggle with consistency. Like, is there a secret to it, a trick? Like, how do you maintain consistency?
With not with everything, with fitness, I just enjoy it. I enjoy the workouts. I enjoy the suck, I enjoy getting in and getting that done. I've always had an interest in, coming up with new ways to suffer, in that regard. As far as the workout consistency piece to it as well, I like finding new ways to figure out what I'm bad at and then improve those. So that helps me continue on. So Murph, for example, I was terrible at it when I first started, and now it's, I get done with that and I go mow the grass, and I got to go knock off the honey-do list now. So it's, I don't know. That's a long-winded version of saying I like figuring out things that I'm not good at and trying to get better at it, I guess.
That's what always made Murph challenging to me, because other people, I don't know, if some, let's just say not family man is attacking it, it's whatever, you know what I mean? But when you do have 15 other commitments or things that you have to do on a Saturday, and Murph is just one of the things that you have to get done, that's where the real grind came most of the time. Was like, I still got to put in this work, even though all this other stuff is going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely presents a challenge. I now have to push Murph to Sundays, so I don't have a day off, but it does, I try to approach the workout strategically that allows me to finish this whole thing year round. So I'm still pushing myself, but the rest of the time that I'm not working out, I try to do some sort of recovery piece to it. I'm stretching more, which that used to not be a thing. Mobility is an important thing to me now. I got the crossover symmetry to help, shoulders, upper body. And I'm doing a version of that for lower body, hips, ankles.
Yeah, man, 7 days a week. You got to be on top of it.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I got when COVID hit, my buddy, coworker, who's also a garage gym athlete. He's on the other side of the hall here. He stopped going to his jiu-jitsu gym because they closed. So he needed a warm body to be a rag doll. So now I get to add two of those sessions a day or a week. So it helps. All of it somehow works together, and can't get enough of it.
That's awesome, man. Well, before we get into the questions, Joe, do you have anything you wanna cover or hit before we get into the final questions here?
I think so. No, man, you're just hitting everything. You're making leaving everybody in the dust right now.
You are making
fitness-wise.
Everyone look bad, just so you know.
I was starting to feel better about hitting 6 days a week finally, because I was at a solid 4 for several months because of moving and everything. But now I'm like, 6. I got my 6 this week, and that's just like, oh, you got like 9.
Well, BCT actually, it helps that, man. Before BCT was just 6 days. I wouldn't do the Meet Yourself Saturday. I would do Murph.
Yeah.
Because I'd already done. Well, I'd already done most of the Meet Yourself Saturdays with a year of H2K. And as they're challenging, and I would look at those, go, man, I'm so glad I'm doing Murph now. Which is weird to say. Like, Murph still sucks,
right?
But it sucks less than having to walk a mile with a barbell on your back.
That's very true.
Yeah, it's all. You got to make each training session worth it. So that's where it's at.
You're crushing it, man. Well, let's see if this has changed. What's the hardest workout you've ever done?
So I last said the Condition Me to the Grave, because that is just, my knockoff store brand equipment, makes everything take longer. When you compare it to a concept or a nicer quality rower or bike. But I remembered another workout that I did, a couple of years ago, and it was one of it was a similar death by lunge. And I've not done this workout since for that very reason. It was basically you lunge 40 reps per leg, and then you go do 30-second wall sit. And then you lunge 38 reps per leg, and then 30-second wall sit, all the way down to 2,
nice.
With a 30-second wall sit in between. And then you won't walk for the next week.
Yeah, that sounds brutal.
The end of that.
So sounds like great accessory work for BCT.
For your
deload week, yeah.
Do not recommend.
Write this down.
No, it was a good workout. But as still, man, Condition Me to the Grave is just I can't wait to once Murph's done and then once BCT's done, I might try and focus on Condition Me to the Grave once a week, just because I suck so bad at that. I'll figure it out. That's probably the next one.
Well,
that's probably the next one that I'm commit to.
I might join you on that if I don't continue down the BCT chasing that, because I've actually thought about that one. If there was another workout I had to pick to do every week for a year, just because I like to, I don't think my endurance is phenomenal. I feel like Condition Me to the Grave is one of those I would love to do every single year. And it's got a time cap too. So it's not, every single week, it's not it's not like you can just keep going and going. No, I should probably invest in concept stuff first. Nah.
If I can get it with the stamina air rower that, takes 3 times as long to get 100 calories in.
You'll be golden.
I'll feel good. I'll feel good.
A 30-minute workout when you get the concept 2 stuff.
I guarantee if you put it in the group, people will follow. Somebody will join. People will join you.
That's what this group's all about, man. There's like a small group that just does crazy stuff all the time. And I'm okay with it. All right, man. In your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness, and has that changed?
So this one's going to be maybe for me and 50% of the people in Garage Gym Athlete or not, but for me, changing from early morning workouts is like, that is just super tough mentally for me, because I wake up and do not want to work out at all. Still, I don't want to do it. I want to work out in the evening time, but we have so much going on with the kids' sports, and we moved into a new house in this past April, so there's always some thing that we have to do there. And so waking up and constantly pushing myself to get the workout done makes me feel like I can. Nothing else the rest of the day is going to be challenging at that point, or less challenging, or it won't be as challenging. So I feel better about myself having done that mentally. And I feel that by continuing to choose to do that early morning workout, I look at a task that, before I probably would have done, or at some point in the day, I don't wait to do it. I knock it out now, because I'm seeing throughout the day, when I just make that decision, the day gets better, day gets over. So.
Yeah, that's a new thing that I've had to do because of lack of vehicles and getting to the gym here and just working that out because we've had one car. So I had to drive with Liz to work and work out before she has to go to work on our lifting days in order for me to actually get it in. And I am a big baby when it comes to that. I will kick and scream and blame her for everything the night before. I'm just like, well, we got to go to bed at 6 o'clock because you're making me wake up early in the morning. But yeah,
How
it's
dare
been, yeah, right. But it's been nice to come back home and be like, oh, it's 7:30 and I've worked out and now I have the entire day ahead of me. So it's cool afterwards, but just the getting started part, especially like early morning squats, which obviously, yeah, I'm with you.
Absolutely terrible. Knees are still not fully awake and cracked yet. It's dark outside before and at the end of the workout. And man,
I mean, that's why I love morning workouts. You guys kind of described it perfectly with just like that mental side of things, of like being done, you've accomplished something, you know that no matter what happens the rest of the day, that is taken care of. Because I have moved, I was morning for a long time, then I moved to afternoon, and now I'm I don't know, I'm still afternoon right now, but I haven't missed any sessions on BCT. But if that, it used to happen on Hard to Kill, I think something would happen in the day that would force me to push it. So I'd either have to do it in the evening or make it up and not have a rest day or whatever. And I always hated that. But when it's in the morning, that never happened. It's like it never got pushed and never got missed. And so there is something to be said about just getting it done first thing. So while it might suck, it's awesome that you guys are doing it.
Yeah, I'm performance wise, I feel like I'm not able to execute the same way I would had I not been warmed up the rest of the day. But I look at it now like that's the next challenge, right? Like, so, okay, I suck a little more in the morning. So if I can improve that base, look out afternoon workouts. So
yeah. So when you retest things, are you going to wait to the afternoon for like max tests?
Absolutely.
All right. Awesome.
No, it just depends on when I get it in. If I can get it in first thing in the morning, get it done, then I'm going to do that. If it makes sense, to get it done in the afternoon, then I'll do it then.
It's like training at altitude. Like really sucks to train, but then when you come back down, things are awesome. That's the morning to afternoon right there.
Dominate.
All right. If you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
So I last time I said a 1 pound rope, and I foolishly challenged you to a double under race to 150, which has trailed off quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm not doing as many double unders as I did before.
I got to, I think you got to 100 first, and I got to 100 a couple weeks later. But then Murph started and everything else started. I don't know. I still like the 1 pound rope, but the rings, gymnastic rings. I before I picked up a barbell really a couple years ago, and I was doing a lot of outdoor workouts, I loved using the gymnastic rings. And I still think that they are a phenomenal tool to have. They're easy to get. You can hang them on a tree. I've hung them on a tree limb in Hawaii or Japan or Bahrain when I was there. So it was great piece of tool or a great tool you can bring anywhere you want and get a phenomenal workout in.
I'm more impressed you found a tree here.
Yeah. Well, no, there it was some structure that I probably should not have hung the straps from, but nobody yelled at me, or if they did, I didn't understand what they were saying. So I just went with it. They thought I was Ukrainian anyway, so they left me alone.
There you go.
I've done that in hotel stairwells where I'm like, if you mess up, this is going to be painful, but
yeah. Oh yeah. You put the fear of death makes you hold on a little longer to.
Yeah. Any workout, like, there's like, I've been on pretty serious mountain trail runs where you slip off to the side and it's kind of dangerous. And, it does make you on point just that much more.
Uh-huh.
All right, man. What is your best advice for all the garage gym athletes out there?
I got two. The first one I'll say is, find your group, find a group to share this with. This is, it's so much better when you can joke around and, meet friends and use their experience to, better navigate your own, and then vice versa, be the same for them. I've made some tremendous friends since, joining GGA. And we talk every day about how, oh man, this workout sucked, but I got this done and I'm 2.5 pounds, stronger here. Oh man, that's awesome. And how'd you do it? It helps going through this a whole lot better. And the second part is, don't always try to go for a PR. Just get quality training. Same thing with the Murph. I don't care how fast I go, because if I try to go stupid fast, I'm gonna slack on the form, and then I'm getting a worse workout. So don't have that PR mindset. Get it done. Stay consistent. Show up the next day. Continue doing this for many years to come.
Awesome. Love it on both counts. Well, Ryan, I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the podcast again today, and just for being a part of the community. And I look forward to suffering more with you on the BCT track for the foreseeable future, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.